We've got her in studio. She is definitely bad to the bone. Lyn Christian from soulsalt.com. How you doing, Lyn?
I am so good again. How are you guys?
We're doing great. Thank you for coming in. So we're talking about leadership, life leadership this morning, right?
Right. That's it. Because we a lot of times think we're living our own life, but we don't recognize that we're probably not.
Yeah. You're like somebody else is in the driver's seat, huh?
Yeah, it could be a voice in our head from our past. It could be something that happened to us. It could be a behavior that we're not aware of that really is taking us by the nose and heading us someplace we don't want to be.
Can we hit on some of those behaviors?
Let's do it.
Yeah, because, I mean, this is something that, again, like you, that's important to say that because we talk about, having self-awareness and how, we're all guilty of maybe not having enough self-awareness.
Right.
But doing some of these things and not realizing that you're that person.
Yeah, and we all do these, okay? Sure. So it's not that we're a bad person. We just get stuck in these corners. And imagine playing with dice, and you take one die and look at the 5. Look at that 5 side, and imagine there are 4 corner dots and one in the middle. And we usually go to the corners and not in the middle. So let's see what's in the corner. First one, what would you call a person who's shaming other people, self-gratifying, focus on people as the problem instead of looking at the problem, avoid having anyone blame them. They're aggressive and attacking. They try to gain control through this behavior, and they can create fear and act like Teflon, like nothing can stick to them.
Wow. That's a narcissist, isn't it?
Well, in a way it
jerk.
is, and we call that person, in my vernacular, we're going to call them a blamer, because they're pointing, okay? So whenever we slip into that, because it's so easy, as soon as we find out we did something, it's like, but this made me do it.
Yeah.
And so we're not really in charge of our lives when we're blaming somebody else, are we?
True, no.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to own your stuff.
Yeah.
You got to own your stuff. So the other one is probably the opposite of the blamer, where we are helpless. We act like we're helpless, and we focus on victimization, and we do want to blame other people, and that's what I call the poor me corner.
Right.
And we get that little chip on our shoulder, and poor me, and it's going to happen to me, and of course this is going to... We're not in charge of our life. We let chaos, circumstances, or victimization be in charge. And we all get there, right? But that's not life leadership either. Another corner would be, and this is one that I have to watch for, you are overly kind. That can be intrusive. Maybe you're actually trying to control an outcome. I don't know. But you produce guilt in other people, and you act like help is really something that you're giving, but you're trying to do something to get obligation.
Okay.
Yep. Like, I'm the answer, and I can do this, and I call that the swooper.
The swooper.
Yeah, and anybody who's been called codependent or self-love deficit, that's the swooper part, where we swoop in and we spend more time paying attention to other people's problems than dealing with our own life.
Wow. Yeah. And because it's
an easy distraction.
Exactly.
Right?
I was going to say, because anybody that's been through therapy knows that it's tough.
Yeah.
And nothing comes easy, right?
It doesn't
and,
work.
And it's easier to be like, hey, just kind of deflect that and like, let's
let me
talk
work,
about
let me
you.
help you, and let me work with you. And
Not
I don't
look
want to
within.
look, if I don't, and I think that's where I get stuck in. That is,
Me too.
instead of looking at your stuff, okay, let me go help somebody else. I'll feel better.
Yeah.
But you don't take care of the root problem.
The Band-Aid, yeah.
Yeah, it's a Band-Aid.
Totally.
That's right.
Okay,
the next one. This gets to what you were saying, Jess. This is what I call the gamer. They're typically uncaring about other people, not a lot of empathy. They can be evasive and irresponsible. What they do is irresponsible. They say yes, but, and then they put their own opinion in. They'll agree with you, but then they change. That but negates everything that you said. And they're emotionally seductive. You want to be near them, but they're not ever going to be emotionally available. So
it's like Hugh Hefner. I mean, honestly.
Yes.
That's him.
Yes.
Wow.
And again, they seek to blame. And so I call that the gamer or the manipulator. And that really is true narcissism.
Wow.
Where it's all about me, and I'm going to look again like Teflon, like everybody else is the problem. But I'm really uncaring. So those are the 4 places we go.
Yeah.
And we can jump around. We can go back and forth in those. But there's one place in the middle, that middle dot on the die. And that's the problem solver. That's a person who's looking for solutions. And the behaviors we want to look at to really be in charge of our lives are things like, okay, let's focus on the problem. Let's not make the people bad. Let's not make somebody right or wrong. What's the underlying concern? And let's work together toward that. We're respectful in our behaviors. We're respectful in our conversations and the words we use. We seek solutions. We seek to empower everybody involved. And we can be assertive, but not aggressive. What we're going for are win-wins or mutual success.
And that's a good one to repeat again.
that.
Being assertive and not aggressive.
Yes.
Because I think a lot of people can be guilty of that. I've been guilty of that. You know, it just because sometimes you just get amped up and you're
Right.
You're talking to somebody,
Passionate or-
and you just so
So
assertive, but
how
not
would you guys be assertive and not aggressive? How would that look? What do you think?
well.
a good question.
Yeah, that is a good question. I don't. I'm very. I've been told I'm intense. So
Well,
my
you're
wife,
Italian,
yeah,
you get a pass.
and I'm passionate. So I just need to I'm trying to get to a point where I'm more cognizant of when I just get amped up. Like I'm very, and it comes across as aggressive, but I'm trying to be assertive, if that makes sense. Like having,
You're going to jump in, be proactive.
yeah, and it comes across as maybe being aggressive just because I get emotional or
You get excited about it.
Yeah.
So what if you jumped in and you had that same proactivity, but you used it with very gentle language?
Yeah.
What would that look like?
So it might be, you know what? I hear that we're all upset. Let's just pause for a minute. Everybody, let's just pause. Let's take a deep breath and let's start talking about the problem. And if anybody starts to make it about some person,
Yeah.
I'm going to stop the conversation. 1, 2, 3, here we go. So you can be the leader. You can be aggressive and say, let's deal with it.
Yeah.
We're not going to put up with maybe blaming. And if we do, I'll call you on it. But let's try to solve this together. Can you see how that might be
Yeah.
assertive but not aggressive?
That's my husband. That's totally him.
Okay.
That's totally him. And I want to be immature and sit in it.
Yeah.
Just make
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
worse.
Or yell and be like, ah.
Yep.
So there are some examples where we might not be leading our life, somebody or something else.
I love it.
And a lot of these start from childhood. I mean, the blamer
they
on the
all start
playground.
from childhood.
He pushed me. She did that. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah,
a
we
lot
get
of
it
that
at an
victim.
early age.
Yeah.
And it's the dynamic with your parents or whoever's in that
absolutely.
family that's close to you. And
Yeah.
it's that
So
imago that's built. What is it? They say your imago is defined or the blueprint of who you are at like the age of 6 or something like
yeah,
that.
and it's a lot of that
Or 8.
starts when we're still in the womb.
yeah, good call.
Which is scary.
To get your free guide to 21 characteristics of a leader, you text leader to 33777. So 33777. Text the word leader to 33777.
Got
That's
it.
Awesome.
You're
Thank you.
amazing.
You are amazing.
Every time we're just like,
I know.
enlightened and heightened. I love it.
We love you.
Thank you, guys.
So thanks for coming.
Hey, it's Lyn Christian from Soul Salt. Thank you for listening to this conversation with Frankie and Jess from 97.1 KZHT. If you found this content helpful, I encourage you to subscribe to the Soul Salt YouTube channel for more videos like this. For more information regarding today's topic, visit our page linked in the description below.